this world? What have they done to us? What did they do to us?
But then when you confront him and go, well, what is the
Tell
voice?
us.
Why should we vote on it? Why should we say yes? And he finally did it. Like, we didn't even think he was going to come back. I mean, all he does is call you racist. You know, you're racist if you don't. And then he just put up an article. Well, here you go. You're wrong. And it's exactly what I said. You can't explain it to me. The article didn't explain it to me. It's just basically racist. You're racist, and like, this is going to help them. And I'm like, how is it helping them if $40 billion a year that we're giving to the Indigenous people at the moment is not getting to the people on the ground, and it's just going?
That's what they're saying. Okay, I know that we were going to.
The problem is we're not giving it to them.
Well, that's the problem. It's going to admin. Yeah. Look, I know that we said we were going to stop, but I just really wanted to play it now. I know, and I'm going to do a trigger warning here. I know a lot of people think Pauline Hanson is whatever they think, and I don't really subscribe much to what she says, but I do know that she has a tendency of speaking out on certain issues. Now, she brought something up that I only just stumbled across today about the voice, and it's something that's quite big, and I believe it would probably hold some water. I just want to play it and see what you guys think, because it's quite full on. And
on the audience, the Prime Minister's deceptive messaging on The Voice has been to downplay its potential power and implications. That's certainly what he tried with Ben Fordham the other day. He would not acknowledge the link between Voice and the Indigenous Treaty. People won't be voting on a treaty at the referendum, he said. Except that's precisely the activist reasoning behind The Voice. It's not recognition because Indigenous Australia is widely recognised in many ways. It's not representation because all Australians are equally represented in this parliament. It's about creating a legitimate body endorsed by the people to negotiate a treaty. No treaty was signed in Australia's colonial era because there was no nation for the Crown to treat with. There still isn't. So Labor will effectively make The Voice the nation to treat with, because the very idea that a nation can have a treaty with its own citizens is nonsense. This has been confirmed by Gabrielle Appleby from the University of New South Wales, who said, Voice precedes treaty because fair, modern treaty negotiations require first the establishment of a representative Indigenous body to negotiate the rules of the game with the state. It can't be left to the state alone, and the state must have a group of people with whom to negotiate.
Hence why it has to be in the Constitution.
The power of treaty. Since the Prime Minister is committed to voice, treaty and truth-telling, it's about time he told the truth and stopped deceiving Australians about his personal vanity and project and treaty vehicle. And I will reiterate this. This is why they want the vote, to enshrine it in the Constitution so it can never be changed. So we are going to endorse a body of people so they can negotiate with. Remember what he said? Voice, treaty, then truth-telling. This is about splitting us as a nation, and that's why the people of Australia must know the truth and they must vote no to the Voice referendum.
Now, that, to me, is pretty straightforward politics. You cannot make a treaty if there is no group to treaty with, which when we arrived here, there was not. And the only way to do that is to divide and create. And that's why it needs to be in the Constitution. It's the thing that I've never understood, why it needs to be constitutional. Why? Not just make a team that you know, I mean, they've already got representatives in the Senate and in Parliament, but why not create a voice that does, does it have to go through all the way through to Constitution level? And the reason is because they want to make the treaty. Now, I'm still finding out what that treaty involves, but it's definitely a separation of our nation, and it doesn't seem like our best interests would ever be involved with that. So that's kind of where we're at the moment with the reasonings, and that's why they don't want to talk about it at all. They've been quoted as saying, if we want to win this thing, we got to stop talking about it. that's from the Yes campaigners, said we have to stop talking. It's one of the things I said to old mate today. I said, to explain that. Why have they been quoted as saying we need to stop talking about The Voice, otherwise we're not going to win it? Because the more people ask, the more they don't have the right answer, the more obvious it is that it's not anything to do with Aboriginal people, Indigenous people, First Nations, whatever you want to call them. It's not in their best interest. It's not in our best interest. It's in theirs. It's lining their pockets, and it's a way of deleting the sovereignty of this nation and just destroying our current structure in favour of whatever the hell they're bringing in. And that's what we're trying to find out.